the agenda and then really open it up. It's going to be, you know, pretty short agenda and then just open up for questions and answers. So that's what I had, Jean.
That sounds good. Yeah, and is this my slot?
Yeah, if you want to,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can tell we pre-planned this. No, no, I appreciate. Thanks for putting me on the introduction. And this obviously is a follow-up, the first conference call that we're putting together following the September 16th TARC meeting, where Cheryl did a map presenting the volume 2 form and the instructions and providing some associated training on that. It's good to see Cheryl's becoming like an expert at these Teams meetings. So we'll continue having Cheryl put these together and providing information, and obviously we'll be here as her supporting cast as well. So Anju, Brenda, Santos, myself. So definitely a team effort, but definitely want to give kudos to those names I shared: Santos, Cheryl, Brenda, Anju, for all the work they put into this. Since that, I'll keep this brief, but since that September 16th TARC meeting where we presented the form, there's been a few things that have come along the way. We released the volume 1 form where Cheryl sent that via the listserv at the end of September, I believe September 30th. And then we actually placed the forms on the Regional Solid Waste Grants Program page. And later on, if need be, I can share that page if you all want to see an image of it. But that's the main TCQ page. Hey, there we go. Look at us.
She's on the spot.
Look at us. So what we have right now is there's that hot icon right at the top of the page, and that's provides the volume 1 form, the volume 2 form instruction. I expect that we'll keep that up till about November. Then we'll take that hot icon down. But what we've done is we've actually added a whole section on this page that supports, provides the supporting resources and documents to go along with the Regional Solid Waste Management Plan, and also the resource documents that we're providing with those, and those are some of the things we'll touch on today. Anju, if you wouldn't mind scrolling to the bottom of that page. And quickly that bottom. And let me know if I'm breaking up. I'm getting some, it's when there's school going on and wife working and me all trying to use the internet at the same time, sometimes it creates some issues. So I may have to turn off my video feed if I'm breaking up. Right there, the resources for developing the Regional Solid Waste Management Plan. So our intent is to have this serve as a place that we, put documents, that we update documents to as you need to, grab the form. Again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, as I know there's several things we're going to talk about, but this spot is where we'll be also, updating those resource documents and keeping the latest versions available. So I'm sure that's something we'll get into a bit. So with that, we got that page up early October, around October 2nd. And actually, we just had a MISRAC meeting where I gave an update on these regional solid waste management plans and shared this page. And we're going to, from here on, we're going to also have the quarterly meetings that Cheryl is putting together, where it looks like the 3rd week of November, I believe, we'll start having quarterly discussions to go over these forms, and with smaller groups, I believe, whichever COGs are interested. We'll see how Cheryl wants to. Those are going to continue as an as needed basis, but just really excited. It's all come together. We looked to that calendar of these plans would be reaching their end life in 2022, and it seemed like that was far away, but now here we are in October 2020, and 2021 is right around the corner. So it's coming quickly. So I appreciate the work that everyone's put in, and y'all's interest and input as well from the work group. And so again, I think we're just keeping this thing rolling, keeping the coordination and the cooperation and the discussions and working together on this. So really appreciate it. And with that, I will turn off my video and step aside. Thank you, everyone.
So next on the agenda, I mean, any of these links that are shared on our page will also be sent out to listserv. There's nothing out there that hasn't already been shared on the listserv. So just want to just reiterate that those things have been sent out. We're just going to briefly bring up volume 1. Santos may have more to say in a minute, but this volume 1 kind of goes almost the same as it did with volume 2, except the forms and the instructions are on the same little form here. They're all, I couldn't get my words together. So if you scroll down,
the instructions are on the form itself.
Right.
There's no separate instruction document like on volume 2.
Thank you. So the main thing in here is just the main information. Then it goes into your goals and objectives. And this is going to be the same from pulling from volume 2, 3L. So these are going to be the same goals and objectives that are in volume 2 also. And then the rest of it kind of just follows the rule. And it's really much simpler than volume 2, of course. So that's mostly what I have. Santos, you have something else on volume 1?
Yes, I just wanted to, I know we talked about it a little bit back in September, but just wanted to clarify why there's volume 1 and volume 2 and kind of where they go. So our commissioners, the commission, looks at volume 1, and this is what comes before them, and they will be the ones that approve volume 1, and volume 1 is much more general in scope, and also provides really the overall goals and objectives of each region's plan. And so this is what goes before the commissioners, and just much like you all have backup dates and dates by when it has to be posted on an agenda and those kind of things, we have the same requirements as well. And so this itself, just this volume 1 for the commissioners. Once the commissioners approve that, then volume 2 will go to our executive director, and he has delegation to approve volume 2. And so there are 2 separate documents, 2 separate set of eyes that'll be looking at these, and then of course once both are approved, then they become one set of the regional plan for each region. So I think that's all I have. If y'all have any questions, I know we sent this out, but if y'all have any questions about any part of the Plan 1 document itself, we followed almost the same steps, the same format that current volume 1s have. Also the what's in the rule and the statute, and we included that in the form. Each of the rows is it's not character prohibitive, so it expands out if so don't think that what you're seeing here is the limit of characters that you can put in there, as well as if you need to add rows to it, you can do that as well. So any questions? And then the last thing, and thank you, Angie, is on item 3C. These were, if you can just go up a little bit, Angie. And I mainly look, yeah, right there. Thank you, 2C. So these were items that were in the past were items that you had to kind of copy and paste over. And here what we've done is we've just automatically set it up for y'all to check off in boxes. And these are just the general commitments from the COG related to municipal solid waste facilities. So that is one of the things that we did incorporate. Can you go down just a little bit more as well, Angie? So section 3 on the required approvals. Again, these are dates that we'll want for you to include including when your SWAC committee approved it. Also, your public meeting date or dates if you have to do more than one public meeting. There was a question that was asked about public meetings, and our rules dedicate a whole subchapter to public participation. And in that subchapter, it's explicit about a meeting. So we would expect and encourage a public meeting to be included in there. Someone asked a question also about if the public meeting could be done on the same day that either a SWAC meeting is conducted or a executive board meeting is, and that would be acceptable as long as it's not part of either of those two meetings, but its own dedicated meeting with its own notice and everything. So I know it's difficult sometimes to get some of your committee volunteers together or to call, your board or your executive committee together, and so it could be on the same day. It would just be expected that it'd be a separate called meeting with its own notice. And then finally, just the date of the executive committee. And that's all I have regarding that. Again, at any time, we'll have the quarterly meetings, and so if after you or your consultants look at these and you have questions about it, those meetings are going to be set up for that. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about those in a minute, but anytime y'all have questions related to this, send us an email, give us a call, and we'll be glad to discuss it. So thank you all.
So next thing is small groups that we're going to do after this. Oh, Santos, do you have something else?
No, I was just looking at the question from Sheila Rojas, but I think you answered it. Yeah.
Yes. So the small groups, we're going to actually start with that the third week probably of November, and we divided the COGs into groups of 4 and added. We'll send this out also, but this is kind of how we were thinking, just kind of picking larger COGs, medium COGs, small COGs, since there's 12 COGs that actually receive the limited funding of $115,000 a year. So we just kind of grouped them like this, that we understand, that these, there's no region wide, there's no any other reason to put 6 like this, so that we just stuck, this is how we came up with these. And we will do these phone calls on a quarterly basis, just like Jean and Santos said. So we'll hold them as long as we need to have everyone's questions answered or anything that y'all need. Of course, we're going to be here between phone calls too. So that's where we have divided the COGs. Santos, you want to add anything else to that?
Yeah, just that it's just a general. We felt that 6 was a good number to be able to have a 45-minute discussion on a monthly basis just for updates, issues, problems maybe that y'all may face, and then any kind of updates that we might have from the agency, or and also be able to share just questions and issues that some of the COGs had. And it's just a smaller group, so a little bit bigger opportunity for folks to have good discussions. Our commitment is that as we get questions or as we get discussions in these smaller groups, that we'll document the discussions or the Q&As, and we'll share that with everybody. And so they're not going to be standalone. And if we recognize trends within each of the 4 groups, then that will give us a clue that might be something that we need to address, or something that we need to come back and get together and formulate something. So it's these will be a good opportunity for us to kind of hear what's going on with you all in developing these plans, and we'll also give you all an opportunity to ask us questions, let us know about issues that y'all are facing that we may have to come back and regroup on, anything like that. This is really one of our commitments regarding the partnership between the TCEQ and the 24 of y'all regional areas to really work together on this and get good plans together. Again, just another additional support item that we're offering. Our intent is to probably get the week right before Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving break, and we'll probably have a meeting, one meeting a day, and stretch it out over 4 days, and have each group dedicated to 1 day, and then from there we'll move on to probably a February maybe time frame for the next one. But again, I encourage you all that if you have questions at any time that come up that's in between these group meetings, to reach out and contact us.
The next thing is the timeline. Santos, you want to just follow right into that?
Yeah, so I think we discussed at the last meeting kind of the timeline, and I kind of backed from the August 31st, 2022 date back, and related to the of course the timing by which we need to post these on the commissioner's agenda for approval, and the time that's needed upon that after that for ED approval, and then back up for our staff and our legal to review the plans, and so in general it's about a January 1, 2022 date that we need them by, and so that's the deadline. And so we know that we had asked for timelines before this, and there's a handful that went over that January 1, 2022 timeline, and so we've kind of asked for y'all to get with us and talk about changing those timelines to meet the January 1 deadline.
And I think the helpful links and the FAQs, I mean, that was on our web page that we showed, even though they've been sent out. So just kind of want to show those again. And Jean talked about those. Jean and Santos, unless y'all have something else to ask, I'm just going to open up for discussion.
I'm good. Thanks, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's, you know, anybody have any questions related to just what we provided this early on here this afternoon, or any questions? These this conference call and the subsequent conference calls are kind of going to be freestyle kind of discussions. Again, really just an opportunity for y'all to ask questions and for there to be interaction and participation among us all. One thing that we are continuing to work on, and I believe that Kimberly Lyle had also sent out an email to you all related to any additional questions, and we are working on the Q&A from the 10 or so questions that we had prior to the presentation in September at TARC, and also to a handful of questions that resulted from the TARC presentation. But anytime we get a question, whether it just comes to one of us or it's a group discussion kind of question, we're making sure to note it down and come up with get a response on there, and we'll be adding those to the FAQs. And we probably won't send them out immediately. We'll wait, and we're still looking at kind of a timeline, whether we're going to send those out monthly or send them out right after the quarterly meetings. But we're going to try to get those out to you all within a set time frame. But at any time, if you again go to the web page, and you'll be able to click on the FAQs and see if anything's been added. They'll be dated so that you'll see when the last update or revision was on those FAQs. So again, we're continuing to be available for those kind of questions, and hopefully they'll be helpful to who's ever asking it, but also to the other COGs that may have similar questions.
Hi, this is Lisa with that COG. I had a question.
Lisa, we can hardly hear you.
Okay. Is this any better?
Just a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to give it a try here.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
There you go. That's good.
Okay. For those of us that are new in this process and new to this program, can you kind of give us a picture of the SWAC's participation in this and the benefit of creating a subcommittee and what that would look like in a process with the full SWAC board?
The so the SWAC is the advisory committee for solid waste activity in that certain region, and we would look at in this case at the SWAC being able to look at and provide the COG support or recommendations or suggestions on, for example, the research that's being conducted, and whether that research is in line with what they're seeing. Also, once y'all develop, once the plan starts being developed, and there's we would see them as either as being supportive regarding any suggestions or recommendations for objectives, strategies, implementation activities, those kind of things that again would be supportive of the plan. So the SWAC committee is really we look at it as working hand in hand with with the COG staff itself and the executive board in developing and affirming the regional plan. And that's one reason why the SWAC approval is required for the plan.
Do you see any benefit to creating a subcommittee for this?
We can have, if there's other COG staff that have spoken to that or that have experience with that, here's our time for participation and interaction.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Erin with HGAC, and we did create a subcommittee, and our subcommittee has been working on looking at data, where to source it, working on goals and objectives, and implementation actions, or recommended actions, whatever they're called. And in my opinion, it's like if you were going to develop those with a group of people, a large group of people, just would be overwhelming. I think a small group, people are more likely to actively participate and do all that stuff. I think if it's a large group, it could just be chaotic. But you can do whatever you want. But that, in my opinion, it seems like it's easier. And so we just asked for volunteers from our SWAC. And we only got, I think, 4 people. And so then we reached out specifically to 2 other people that we felt represented other areas that we didn't have represented already in our group. And both of them agreed to be on it. So we have 6, and I think our full committee is like 20 something people. So.
Thank you, Erin.
Does anybody else have a subcommittee that maybe you could help Lisa answer that question if it helps, if there's a benefit? Okay.
Any other questions?
So I have a question. So y'all say this is being recorded. Are y'all going to send out that recording? Because I had also had problems with my audio for the first 10 minutes. So it took me a while to get on.
That's our plan, Erin. Yes.
Okay. Is it just going to be sent like via email or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. There's no question too small, too little, and I know a lot of your microphones are not working. So if you want to type them in, do that also. Sheila, if you want to type in your question.
Okay, Sheila has a request for a proposal question.
Lisa, by chance, do you know what it is? Oh, here it comes.
Okay, and her question relates to the evaluation criteria, I guess for deciding on who should be chosen as the consulting firm. I take it that that's what that means. Any COG out there with experience on this that can lend some guidance or recommendations or advice to not just Sheila, but anybody else who is for the first time looking at hiring a consultant.
Hi, this is Cheryl Murgo with HGAC. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can send you guys some RFPs that we have done, and it weren't necessarily for a regional plan, but it looked at, you know, the experience, the expertise, years of experience. You know, you can't make it place-based or geographic area, but you might want to ask what if your COG is very rural, more dominated, what kind of experience they have in that. And HJC normally never uses just price, because we want to really look at your qualifications and make sure you have the experience that we're needing. But we will send that to you. I apologize, I'm in the car, so I didn't catch who sent it, but I can send it to Cheryl and she can share it with you.
Right, and Catherine Krantz did send in to look for experience, knowledge of the region as being two aspects of criteria for looking at any responses to the RFP. Thank you, Catherine. Anybody else? Okay. Well, if y'all go back and for those of you with experience and you look at some of your checklists or criteria and you have some suggestions that you would like for us to share with everybody else, send them in to Cheryl and we'll include that in the FAQs.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Hey there, this is Kim at TARC. It's not necessarily a question, but I just wanted to say thank you to each of you, to Jean, Cheryl, Santos, Brenda, Anju, all of you for taking time to really walk the regions through this process. It's new for many. You know, thinking about something that was done 20 years ago, there are a lot of people who go, who rotate in and out of the COG. So number one, thank you for walking everybody through it and being great partners with the region so that everybody is kind of on the same page and able to ask questions and feels like they are not alone in this endeavor. So from the association, just to thank you on behalf of all the regions.
Thank you for working with us, Kimberly. We really appreciate all the work that you've done for us and really being a partner with us in this initiative that we've got going this year. One other thing, and if there are topics related to the regional plan that you all would like more information on, or would like to seek recommendations or suggestions on, same thing. If y'all can send them to us, we'll be sure to include those in our agendas for the quarterly meetings, and we can certainly try to get y'all more information on that as well. Anything else? Okay. Well, with that, Jean, do you have any closing, anything to close it out? If I see you smiling, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I can close it out, but
well, wait, can we just, since we have a little bit of time,
okay. Yeah.
just like Santos, you said, just since this is not on the regional plan, we did send out all the FY20 money, and I'm hoping that all of you got it by now. And either email me and ask me, but all the FY20 money went out sometime this week. So it should hit your bank, I would think, within the next couple of days if it hasn't already. But it was all paid out. All the FY20 went out just the first quarter. And the follow-up results reports are due 10/15. I think Aaron sent out something to everyone. That's just a reminder. And please use the COGS at your to look for advice, to look for suggestions, just like this RFQ, RFP. Just put it out there on the listserv. Ask these questions. You know, we're not always here and we don't always have the right answers, but at least some of your other COGS have experienced some stuff that you may have questions that you need answered. So please reach out to other COGS also. And I'm not telling you don't call me, just reach out to some COGS also for their advice.
Yeah, it seems like this is a tight-knit group, and they can obviously share things and learn things from one another. So I feel like your partners there, your parts to yourselves, to yourself. Seems like those are really great resources, and we're definitely here to we're trying to help facilitate as much as possible and try to create some just clear roadmaps on how to get to approved regional solid waste management plan. But it's really, as I described, it's really the people, y'all seeing Cheryl and Santos and Brenda and Anju, but they're really the ones that are spearheading this. I get to just ask questions and see if they followed up on something and review things that are generated and provide a few comments here and there. But really, they're putting this thing together. So very much appreciate it. And again, with the end goal of let's have some really good regional solid waste management plans at the end of this, and we'll see who gets to do it in the year 2042, 2040. I don't know who plans on sticking around that long. I don't think I'll be here anymore. But so it's kind of cool that we all get to put our put our name down on something or be involved in something that's going to be out there for the next 20 years. Not saying y'all can't update your plans. That's something that's come up in questions. Plans can definitely be updated along the way, but I think it's a pretty cool thing that we all get to be involved in this. And Cheryl just missed being involved in two. I think she said she didn't quite get to put together the initial ones, so be involved in that process. But I think you had a glancing blow.
A little bit.
Blow, right? You're involved, maybe in the 2007 part of things. But yeah, no, so that's it for me. I didn't really have any closing remarks, and I would actually offer it up, to you or to Cheryl or Santos, let y'all close out as well as, if Kimberly wants to say anything as well. So, but thank you all very much.
Just a suggestion, y'all. I think Anji may have sent out the link for that webpage, and probably be a good idea to either bookmark it or add it to your favorites, just to have handy. And like Cheryl said, anything that we load on there we'll also send out via listserv. But still, that page will be good to a good reference. But please, if you think you saw something and you can't find it, make sure to email us or call us, and if we did something out, we'll get it back. We'll get it back out to y'all. So again, we're trying to provide y'all with as much information as we think. Right now, we're kind of going at it with providing you information that we think you might need, or that we think that you need. But certainly, as you get moving and as you get moving through the process, and as we have these quarterly meetings, we'll come up with a clear picture of information that you all do need, and we'll be working on getting that information out, finding responses, those kind of things. So, much like you all are experiencing work in progress, we are too. But that's another reason for these conference calls, and certainly another reason for us working together and getting this year-long project done. So Thank you all for attending. And if no one has any further questions, we will send out the small group conference call meetings schedule here in the next week or so. And everybody please stay safe and healthy. And we will see you all here in November.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It still says Brenda's in a meeting. Has Marcus left that meeting yet?
This meeting is being recorded. Aris, you want to stop?